What's going on, world?
What's happening?
We are the KC Vibe Podcast, and we are back to vibe with you guys for one more week.
Another week,
Europe.
another blast.
So if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here, you already know how we do it. Sit back, enjoy this little intro, and we'll be back to vibe with you guys in about 35 seconds.
34, 35, 36.
Oh, you know I love a good vibe.
Oh, I know you do. Hey.
Won't you come and vibe with us? You can vibe with us. You can come and vibe with us. Won't you come and vibe with us? You can vibe with us. You can come and vibe with us. Won't you come and vibe with us? You can vibe with us. You can come and vibe with us. Won't you come and vibe with us?
Hey.
And just like that, we are back.
Like we never left.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So listen, today I want to tie in some current events, right? To something that if you haven't been living under a rock, you should know, right?
Okay.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Champions. Shout out the South Carolina Gamecocks. Let's get it. Let's go. I knew it from the very beginning. Look, they threw a couple curveballs in there for me. My bracket was 76.6%.
Okay.
76.6%. Because, one, I didn't expect that University of North Carolina, the
NC, what that? NC State?
NC State. Yeah. I didn't expect NC State to do as good as they did. Shouts out to them, though. But, yeah, I was expecting UConn and Paige Buckets to knock out Iowa. I ain't gonna lie. But I digress. I want to talk about how to overcome your struggles.
Okay.
Because anyone who's anyone knows that the struggle is real, right?
It can be.
And there's been so many events and so many quotes that have been made during this tournament that has like blown my mind.
Okay.
Right? One of the ones that I really want to tie into came from Paige Beckers, aka Paige Buckets.
Okay.
One of the most underrated players, I believe, that plays on the UConn team. Her and Caitlin Clark played together. She's did 2 years, suffered 2 years of injuries. This was her first year that she was back like 100%, just doing her thing. Very underrated. But she made a statement in a press conference, right?
Yeah,
and she said, I do all that I can so God can do what I can. And I was like, whoa, that is crazy.
So, basically, she do what she can, and what she can't, she expects God to take care of.
Yeah. That's deep, right?
Yeah.
And as I started deep diving into it, I'm like, dang, yeah, she's been through a lot.
Oh, yeah?
You know, she came out as a superstar, you know, had an injury, I think year 2 of her career, then came back and had another injury year 3 of her career. And there was so much stuff that could have knocked her down, but she just kept going.
So she was injury prone, but she didn't let that stop her.
She just kept going, putting her best foot forward. And what's amazing about this particular year when it comes to women's basketball is you're hearing so many stories like that.
Yeah.
You know, you're hearing so many stories where people could have given up, but they chose not to.
Resiliency. And
that right there is like mind-boggling, because it's like you have to realize in life the struggle is real.
Yeah, it's very real, especially if you've been through a whole lot and you already know, like, it's something else trying to bring you down. it's just another obstacle you got to go through and try to defeat.
Right.
Struggle's always real.
Yeah, and it's shown its hand so many times, like following the different careers. Because a lot of people see basketball players as just that, just basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know what they go through, like behind the scenes, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff. Even Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Clark, dream school was UConn.
Mm.
UConn did not pick her up, dropped her. Her person that she looked up to was Maya Moore. She wanted to go to UConn, all
Yeah.
that. UConn didn't recruit her.
But they're kicking themselves in the foot.
They
They're
probably
shooting
are,
themselves in the foot
but
because that's a lot of money.
she kept going.
Yep.
He says a lot of money.
Yeah, you know how many tickets sold
She
out?
kept going and but so many records at Iowa. Right there at home. Was able to play right there at home.
Yeah.
I look at Raven Johnson. I said this was like the revenge tour for Raven Johnson. I look at everything that she went through last year.
That's the girl
That
that
Caitlin Clark
Caitlin,
waved off.
yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me see if I got her quote here.
No shit. I would have came back for revenge too. Somebody disrespect me like that.
Yeah, but
Hey,
listen to
look.
what she said though.
What she say?
She made a comment and she said, I said this was revenge season and I got something for everybody, every team that comes up. So I think that was the best thing that had ever happened to me. And
Mm-hmm.
God does things for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said that she went through a point in time when she was ready to give up basketball.
Yeah.
But she kept pushing. Reading her backstory, they said that girl was up to shooting 2,000 3-pointers a day.
2,000 a day.
2,000 a day in the gym just shooting.
How long it take you to shoot
I
2,000
don't know.
shots a day?
I don't know. I ain't on her coaching staff. But that right there is that resilience.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's that not letting the struggle get the best of you.
Exactly.
And there are so many in this tournament that's just wild. Gabby Marshall said she had to delete all her social media because I'm going to go on record and say that was not a moving screen. That was a BS call. But she said she was being attacked so much, like she's the one that made the call, that she had to delete her social media.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you got to understand, too, that these are still kids. Yeah, they're adults. They're adults. But they just became adults. And that's a lot of pressure for some kids, young adults to be handling. They know basketball. Their life is basketball. And social media pressure, to me, is even harder than physical peer pressure.
Right.
Because of the fact that, it's coming from different places.
People you don't even
people
know.
you don't even know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to school, had to deal with peer pressure. It's from the same people. The same 2 or 3 people that was like, oh yeah, you need to, your shoes, this, that, and the third with the woo. But when you on social media, you got thousands and thousands of people who are upset and don't like you because of what a ref called on the court. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, she didn't make the call. She didn't make the call. The ref made the call.
Right.
Why y'all mad at me? That's a lot of pressure.
It is.
That's a lot of pressure.
That'll
make a grown man want to quit. So
it's a heck of a lot of pressure. But now that I've got my WNBA NCAAW vent out the way, let's move into today's topic.
Okay, let's go.
Overcoming those struggles in order to better yourself.
Yeah.
We've had to overcome some struggles.
Plenty on. A whole lot on.
And at the time when you're going through it, it does not feel like you're going to come out of that.
Yep.
You are at the very rock bottom and you feel like there's nothing but concrete getting pulled over you.
Yeah.
But like Paige said, sometimes in life you have to The only thing you can do is all that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you can do is give it 120%
Yep.
in hopes that God picks up your slack for you to do all that you can.
That's it. That's it. And like you said, we have been through some struggles within our relationship. Not things that actually happen in the relationship, but things that happen outside the relationship.
I mean,
That
there was stuff that happened in the relationship too.
yeah, I get that. But most of the major things happen outside the relationship in reference to decisions that were made that shouldn't have been made, which kind of put saying some shakiness or turmoil within the relationship that we had.
Right.
So not to put too much detail out there, but uh, I made a mistake while I was serving in the army. Wasn't that major bid, but it was a mistake that I made, which resulted in me having to have some consequences that were referred to me that we refer to in the army as UCMJ. And what I did was wrong, but I did do it for my family, but it didn't make it right. And I did it on impulse. And when I did what I did, the Army gave me what we call Article 15. The messed up part about this is that I did not tell my wife until later, until the
It was too
paperwork came
late.
through. And it was too late. And she was hearing about this, like, what is going on? And when you get an Article 15 in the United States Army, you have to do 45 days extra duty. Uh, what is it? And 45 day extra duty is basically you have to stay and work extra. What we got it for 1700, 5 o'clock every day. And so I had to stay till 11 at night for 45 days. 45 days restriction. They forfeit your pay. They take your rank. All kind of stuff. I don't know how I thought I was gonna hide this information from my wife, but I attempted it. I don't know what I was thinking, and so she found out about it, and of course, she had every right to be upset and mad because I would have been the same way if I would have found that out. But we discussed it, and it shook the relationship a little bit, but we had a conversation. We spoke to God about it, and she was mad at me for a while, like she had every right to be, like she had every right to be. But I did some personal reflection on myself, and at first it was like, man, you know what? I done lost half my pay. I done dropped in rank. I'm working to 11 p.m. every night and having to be back in formation at 4 a.m. in the morning.
4 a.m. in the morning.
0400. Well, yeah,
4 a.m. in the morning.
4 a.m. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So that right there, it caused some strain in the relationship, and then it was looking bad at my me being able to stay in the military as well because they was doing cutbacks at that time.
I don't think it was so much as that incident. Like, yes, that incident kind of
Yeah.
ticked me off, but at the same time, I think it was that build up. We've talked about in past podcasts how certain instances, if you let it build up and build up and build up, it'll make situations even worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think towards that point of our relationship, we did not communicate like we do now.
Yeah.
Like now we sit down, we talk about stuff. We, even if it's gonna start an argument, whatever, we hash it out, we talk about it. We didn't do that back then. And yeah, we were married young.
Mm-hmm.
We still had growing up to do, like amongst ourselves. We became parents young. So in addition to trying to see who we were in life, we're doing this with a full audience. So we have no choice but to make sure that we're being great, because it's
Yeah.
not just us. We had 3 kids in 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's like it wasn't just us. It was other people that was affected by that too.
Yeah.
And I think more so than anger, you keep saying anger, I think more so than anger, it was hurt.
Yeah. It was hurt. Yeah.
And sometimes in life, hurt is worse than anger.
Mm.
Right. And I got to the point where I felt like I had done all that I could in the relationship. I was ready to wash my hands of the whole thing. Like, we came through a point where we were gonna walk away from the whole relationship, because that hurt is something that I did not think that I can get over.
Yeah.
Like, I can get over being angry at somebody. You can be mad at people all day long. You can be mad at someone who sits at a green light for too long before they take off.
Yeah.
That anger is going to be temporary. It'll overpass. But hurt is a little different.
Yeah.
Anger and hurt is like the difference between falling and scraping your leg open and getting a paper cut.
Yeah.
One of them's going to sting a little bit, but it's going to be good in about a couple hours. Another one is going to take time to heal. And I think that hurt is something that took time. It was going to take time to heal.
Yeah. And I honestly believe, I mean, this was a eye-opening experience for us both. I mean, one in which I feel that you was a victim of, but at the same time, that experience that we went through, it allowed me to look at things in a different perspective. Like, hey, look, you know, my wife, I cannot hide anything from her. I need to communicate with her, let her know what's going on at all times. And that right there kind of turned me into a different direction when it comes to communicating with you.
Like the epiphany.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because I honestly think we had the epiphany around the same time. Like, I was hurt. There wasn't nothing I was going to just let go of. But at the same time, it's like, after praying on it and all that other stuff, it's like God was telling me, this is who I put in your life. This is who I chose for you. This isn't something that you can just walk away from. And kind of what put the stamp on it there is I was about ready to walk away, and I found out that I was pregnant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, God, out of all the things, why?
Yeah.
And it's funny because people say all the time, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Tell him what it is that you want to do, how you want the situation to play out. And that right there will have him cracking up, because he already got a plan for you, and he already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's funny that we're recording this today. We're recording this a couple days late. It's actually Monday, April the 8th, the day of the eclipse.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's funny that we're recording this on that day is because the eclipse, the sun, the moon, they say that God does things as a reminder. Like the rainbow after the storm is to remind you, hey, I'm never going to destroy the world with water again.
Yep.
You know, so it's a reminder of God showing up and showing out. So I'm going to let you take over the mic, because that's your testimony, not mine.
I mean, yeah, and he definitely showed up. And like I said, at that point, this happened in what, 2014?
Yeah.
At that point in time, I was like, hey, look, it's over. My marriage is over. My career is over. I ain't going to have nothing to fall back on. I'm going to end up going back to Georgia the same way I left Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
We were in Georgia.
Yeah, we were in Georgia. So it was like, I guess that's it for me, you know. And I'm sitting here like, this can't be my story, man. This cannot be my story. This cannot be the story of, my family, what we worked so hard for. This can't be it. And I had a relationship with God at that time, but to me, it wasn't as strong as it could have been until I decided to make it strong.
Mhm.
So I prayed. Man, I sat in my car one day when I was going through this stuff, and right before I was going to extra duty, I prayed. I said, God, I said, this can't be it. I said, I know you put a blessing on my life. I know I've taken things for granted. I know that whatever things that I got going in my head right now and whatever decisions that I made were not based on you. Show me, guide me, give me a sign. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that everything's gonna be okay. And look, it's bright as day, right? It's
Mhm.
bright as day. I'm in my car. I said, give me a sign, God. Let me know everything's gonna be okay. And it's funny how the days the eclipse, and we finna talk about this. I'm sitting in my car. It's bright as day. After I asked God for a sign, it was cloudy outside. I looked up to the sky. The clouds moved, y'all. The clouds moved. I did not see the sun. I see the moon. And this is about, what, 11 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the morning? Was it 12 o'clock p.m.? I'm like,
Yeah, because you were on lunch. You
I was
weren't
on
coming
lunch,
out
yeah.
of extra duty. You were on
Yeah, I
lunch.
was on lunch, yeah. It's been 10 years. So. I see the moon as bright as day. I see it. I'm like, God, that's your sign? That's your sign. Because when I looked back down and I looked at the sun, I looked back over again, the moon was gone. He gave me a sign that day.
Mhm.
And I was like, God, thank you. That's how I knew everything was gonna be okay. At the end of the day, yes, I had to do my 45 days just to do it. I lost my pay, I lost my rank and all that good stuff, but I did not get I did not get dishonorably discharged out the army.
Your story wasn't over, but it's funny because even after we prayed on it, you asked for a sign, you were given the sign. I was told that I wasn't allowed to leave you. I guess.
What?
um, yeah, because I told you, God was like, "That's
Yeah.
your husband." It's like the TikTok sound. That's your man. You gonna stick beside him. But there was so many obstacles.
Yeah.
Was
So many.
like what we were talking about. There's so many obstacles. There were so many struggles that we went through. There was times where when we felt like everything was going good,
Yeah.
it turned again. I remember sitting in the office of your leadership
Mm-hmm.
and her looking at us telling us that you will never amount to anything.
Mm-hmm.
You will never go anywhere in life. You'll never be able to do anything successful.
Yep.
Uh, and like literally telling you all that, pouring all that into you. So it's like the whole time we're filling your cup up, we're filling your cup up, we're filling our cup up as a unit.
Yeah.
It's like those obstacles come in poking holes into
Yeah.
that cup,
Yeah.
watching the faith or the liquid just slowly leak
Uh-huh.
out of it.
Uh-huh.
And we had to keep pouring in, and we had to keep reflecting, and we had to keep fixing those holes.
Yep.
And the hardest part about it all is I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat stuff and say that life is easy and say that
Mm.
it's easy to have faith, because it is not easy to
No, it's
have
not.
faith. And the hardest situation you get put in is when you're expected to have this faith and you're expected to trust God in all that you do, but there
Mm-hmm.
are so many things that's hitting you.
Yeah.
You're sitting there like, how am I supposed to have faith? How am I going to overcome this obstacle?
Mm-hmm.
I got this person over here telling me this person over here telling me this. How am I going
Mm.
to overcome this obstacle? And the thing about this that was different, like for us,
Mm-hmm.
we nobody knew what was going on with us.
Nah. Mm-mm.
Like it's a battle that we were fighting internally against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say battling each other, like battling each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, it took a long time for that hurt to heal.
Yeah.
Like a long time. But once that hurt did heal, God started blessing us.
Yes. Abundantly.
God started blessing us. Whereas of the situation that you were in
Yeah.
did not break you.
No.
It made you.
It actually did.
And God puts us in situations to go through stuff
Mm-hmm.
so that we can have that testimony. And not only does he do that, it doesn't end at that.
Mm-mm.
He constantly drops you gems
Mm-hmm.
to let you know, hey, remember where you are?
Yeah.
Like the position that you have now
Yeah.
is a gem. The fact that we sat in that office and was told that we'll never be able to do anything, we'll never be successful, we'll never to amount to anything. Now we're able to sit on a platform, talk to millions of people, let them know the struggle that we went through, and let them know that, hey, don't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
Because my mama used to tell me all the time, ain't no person walking on this earth got a hell or a heaven to put you in.
That's it. That's it.
So you don't let other people dictate how your life is going to go. Because if we would have let other people dictate how our life went, we would not be sitting where we are now.
Mm-mm. No, yeah, you were. And look, I mean, with that situation, I mean, everything worked out. After we put everything in God's hand, I got out. I ended up getting out, but it was under honorable conditions, so I still got my honorable discharge. That was amazing. I was still able to get my VA benefits. I was still able to use my GI Bill. Didn't lose nothing, nothing, and it was amazing. It was amazing, and I'm sure how God really worked that thing out. We moved right from Georgia
Mm-hmm.
and came to Leavenworth, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
They were not supposed to do that for us. They were supposed to move us to our home of record, remember?
Right. Which is 3 hours away.
Yeah, which
Your
is 3 hours
home
away.
record.
My home of record was
Mhm.
3 hours away. When God get involved with things, He moves.
And then the process.
Exactly.
And that's what I tell people all the time. When it's God moving, the process is different.
It's different.
Like it's the way that we were able to move so quick. Those people on the waiting list at transportation,
Yeah.
trying to get their stuff moved. The way that we were able to move so quick, our stuff beat us to our destination. And the devil works, right?
Yeah.
So there's always something that the enemy tries to throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget when we were first leaving out of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't make it 2 hours up the road
Mm-hmm.
before the U-Haul started sparking.
Yeah, I got that flat.
We looked, it had a flat.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the middle of nowhere. We didn't have any cell phone signal. We couldn't even call 911. Me, pregnant, Chad, our 3 kids, in a Trailblazer.
Yeah, and
with
we had a trailer hooked onto
the trailer
back.
hooked up with the maximum on it.
Yep.
In the middle of nowhere, woods, darkness, nothing. We had nowhere to go. We couldn't drive it because of the flat, and it was sparking because of the metal.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, we could have been like, this is our sign, we going back, all that other stuff. But out of nowhere, a cop ends up passing by.
Yep.
In the middle of nowhere. In what they call in little rinky-dink towns, in the middle of nowhere.
You like down South Georgia? Yeah.
A cop ends up passing by. That's what I'm talking about with those gems.
Yep.
There's always going to be a gem. We can go on and on and on about the different testimonies that we have, the different situations that we done been through, the hurtful situations that we done been through, the blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, everyone sees KC Vibe. They see hashtag Team
Yeah.
Martin. They see us where we are now. But if you knew the struggle that it
Yeah.
took to get there, our story, and it's going to slowly unfold throughout our podcast. We'll be
Yeah.
able to tap on different stuff that help build our story. And to be honest with you, our story's still getting built. You know, we're still going through stuff, but the foundation
Yeah.
and where we are now, I'm proud of us.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, we've this garden that we have is fruitful, but it did take a lot of pruning from God to get us to this point.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, don't tell me that God ain't real, because He is. He's, man. Let me tell you, done worked some stuff out for us where I'm still in awe to this day.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not gonna say disbelief, because I believe it. You know, so there's no doubt about it. And it just, when we went through our situation in 2014, 10 years ago, I could not imagine that we'll be in the position that we're in right now.
I couldn't imagine we'll still be together.
Yeah, that too. I
That's
thought for sure
wild.
that it was over.
Me too.
I was like, yeah,
Shit.
it's over.
Me too. But here we are, still standing.
Yeah.
I'm still standing.
Yeah, I'm glad we still here raising our beautiful kids, you know. And I'm happy, and I know I don't go to God asking Him for stuff all the time. I just pray to God and ask and say, hey, look, thank you for sparing my family. Thank you for sparing me.
Right.
Thank you for the blessings that you bestowed upon me. And with that, He brings even more. He gives
Right.
even more to us. So if you're going through some stuff, put it in God's hand. Don't worry about it.
Right.
He will take care of it. If you ask Him for a sign or a clue to let you know that he's paying attention, He will give you those signs. He will. And assure you that everything's going to be okay.
Right.
As long as you put it in His hands.
Right. And I started with the NCAA tournament. I'm going to end with the NCAA tournament. Nah, for real. After winning her third national championship, after going, she's what, 109-3 right now? Maybe a little more.
I don't know.
She overcame obstacles, right? The coach Dawn Staley, when interviewed, she looked at the camera and said that she has uncommon favor. And that's one thing that blows my mind, because me and you, we've always talked about that.
Yeah.
We've always talked about sometimes having faith, having God on your side. You get that big three, whereas you, God, and your significant other, you get that. There's nothing that can't be accomplished.
Yeah,
there's nothing that is impossible. That's our family logo, Matthew 19:26. Everything's possible with God. There is nothing impossible when you have that uncommon favor.
Man, I'm telling you, He can defy the laws of gravity. The laws of physics, I'm sorry. The laws of physics.
Uncommon favor.
Yes, and gravity. Yep. Uncommon favor is real.
It's crazy.
We are witnesses to it.
So that right there is our time for today, you guys.
Absolutely.
You want to add anything else?
Nah, I said my little spiel, and keep yourself motivated.
Keep it on.
Keep it on.
Keep it on.
So, yeah, don't doubt it. Put it in God's hand.
Yeah.
He will move mountains.
And keep writing that book, because we still adding chapters ourselves.
Absolutely.
Like, our book won't be over until it's over.
Hey, look, bring it on. Look, we welcome the struggle because we know that God's gonna take care of that struggle for us.
Right.
I mean, at the
He
end of the
brings
day,
you to it to bring you through.
exactly. Don't stress out about it. That's why people that's half our age look like they 2-3 decades older than us, because they stress out about everything and don't know how to run to the right one to get what they need. So.
Well, we at our
yeah,
time.
I know.
Man.
I was looking at that too. I knew you was gonna say something.
We at our time. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concern, feel free to reach out to us at askkcvibe@gmail.com. That's askkcvibe@gmail.com. All of our social medias will be attached down below. If you like that Facebook page, be sure to turn on your notifications so you'll know when we go live.
Yep.
If you have any comments, like I said before, Spotify, I think, has a comment section now. Go ahead and drop us a comment. If you are enjoying listening to us, please share.
Do that.
Share with your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your aunties, anyone in need of hearing what we're saying.
Even your great people.
If they here, go for it, y'all. If they here, go for it.
I'm telling you.
You ain't got nothing else to add, I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle on out of here. As always, I am the K.
And I'm the C.
Thanks for vibing with us. Bye.
Bye.